Get him, get him.
Oh my God!
Calm down. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here.
Oh, yeah, dude!
Dude.
6 pounds, 11 ounces. Oh,
Oh my. Limp. That's what I've been f***ing waiting for all day.
that's over 6.
True. And that one's.
Oh, here he goes.
Go. Good?
That's a big fish.
Full hand on tail. Yeah, it looks sick. Good to go.
Look how broad that thing is.
I wonder if that was the one that followed me in.
Beautiful. Oh my God. Holy God. What a beast.
Oh, wow. That might be a 4. That might be a 4.
Yeah, it's a 4. You guys show that off too. 4 pounds, 12 ounces. Holy. Oop.
Another good one.
Holy sh! What the? Is that another 6?
Could be.
It's the second giant of the day, proving that point. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yes!
Big baits, big fish. There we go. 5 pounds, 6 ounces. Beauty! Dude, I'm not even joking. It happened again.
Kidding me?
Nope.
Is it big?
Oh! That's strong.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
That's a fat fish, dude.
4.
Holy. Dude. Holy hell, that's long.
Yeah, it is.
5, 4, 6. What?
Yeah. Just rock.
Got him. Get in here, you. There's another 6. You. That's a big fish.
6'10". Woohoo! Little fatty.
Good evening, everyone. How we all doing? Welcome back. Sorry about the time off last week, but I had no service really where I was, and just made it easier not to do it. Plus, you know, I was just on cloud 9 because I caught that 7. So.
Yeah. First cast too. What a
Dude,
dick.
I can't stop replaying the whole sequence of events that led to that fish catch. And the most important thing was I didn't record anything when I got up there on Wednesday because I was just too excited to get out there. There was a chance of rain coming in later, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to grab them. And I'm convinced that had I stopped to take the time, then I don't think I would have caught that fish. I truly believe that fish like that, you just got to be at the right place at the exact right time. And that one I was. And if I had stopped to set up those GoPros, I don't think I would have caught that fish.
Yeah, he probably would have.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
It's pretty awesome, though. Thank you, sir. Anyway, how the hell is everybody doing? Been off just for 2 weeks, but back at it. And the way I foresee this going, there won't be another week off until middle of July during the week of iCast. But maybe I'll do something from Florida while I'm down there, because that would be awesome. But let me know if there's any issues with the audio, because you just never know. Things like that happen. Tried some new things with the GoPros while I was gone. Did not work. I tell you what, I normally record 4K at 60 frames. And when I was with my customer who used a lot of GoPros, he's like, you should try the setting. It makes it look really good. I'm like, all right. So I set it up. And while I was recording out there on Thursday last week with Tom, I looked at the GoPros. I'm like, those batteries look kind of low on the battery packs. And then I looked at the actual GoPros, because a little preview of like how much memory you're using. We only been out there 6 hours, and it kept saying I only had 9.5 hours total of recording. And usually I get like 14 hours out of them. So I was like, oh. We ended up filling all 512 gigabyte cards before we were done fishing. We had 2.5 terabytes worth
Jesus.
of footage. It's taking me a little while.
That's a bit.
To get through and edit that. I got the rough edit done last night, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it before we take off to Lake Champlain this weekend, which I'm leaving early Friday morning, and then Andrew, my buddy, our buddy David, is going to drive up there and meet us.
I always forget his name on this. Annie Basson. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Annie Basson. So, all right, good. Sounds good. Oh, do share to the peasants. Oh, what the hell was it? It was something to do with the bit rate. I can't remember exactly what the setting was, but it defaults to normal, and you can just, it's either normal or high, and I changed it to high. And I will tell you, in this case, I recorded a 2.7K resolution at 60 frames. It looks good, but can't do it because it becomes an absolute battery and memory hog. So, one-time thing. Let's do a couple things. I do want to recap more appropriately everything that happened up at the Great Lakes because it was awesome, and then we'll talk a little bit about Champlain because I got some intel and I'm excited for when we go up there. But I do see a couple of questions like from Dropman. What trailer do you use on the Vanquish jigs during the 3 stages? So, have at it, sir.
Flipping to light.
Yup.
And maybe like a baby rage craw or something. Yeah, I like that. Just those 2. That's pretty much all I throw on jigs anyway. Just those 2. That and maybe like...
Oh, there's one you're not talking about that you throw every once in a while.
Yeah. So?
You get 2 out of 3. Consider yourselves lucky.
Yeah, look, I gave you 2. Usually I just say flipping the light, which is 99.9% of the time, but I do switch it up once in a while.
Yeah, flipping to light and rage crawl. I mean, that's pretty much it. Especially on the Vanquish, like that time of the year where I'm throwing it. And there are times when I'll throw it in colder water and I'll go something a little bit more dead. Although flipping to light is still good because you get some good, like you get phenomenal action in the fall. But then the two legs do a really good job of continuing to stand and present themselves. So that helps a lot more than like a rage crawl where the legs want to tend to fold over. So it, to an extent, doesn't really matter what you're using in the colder water as long as the legs stand up. The net baits, pack a craw.
Oh yeah, those are
any
good
of those from net bait, those are really good too. Little more subtle on the action, but they're good. And they make like a 5-inch one. So if you're fishing a pond that has a lot of just kind of soft, mucky vegetation at the bottom, and like jig is kind of working, then I'll throw that 5-inch net bait craw on the back. Because the jig's going to sink down a little bit, but I'll still get last inch and a half of those claws sticking up. So they can see it, they follow it down, and they can still find it once it hits the bottom. Just going through and see if there's anything else we can get to before we actually do get properly started. I'm just happy everybody's here. Thank you all very much. And actually, before we get started, for anybody that is watching already, thank you very much as always. Do us a favor, drop a like on the stream, whether you're watching here on YouTube or here on Facebook. We are live at both spots at the exact same time. And for those that have been sharing it before the stream, after the stream, leaving comments, all that stuff, thank you. And I will go a step further to prove how much it's been helping with all the sharing you guys have been doing. We were just looking at it right before the stream started. It's something I look at semi-regular basis. But out of the last 20 videos, like regular fishing videos I posted, which sadly I've only done 20 regular fishing videos in the last 10 months, 14 of those 20 have over 1,000 views, which is awesome because that's kind of like that next step that I've been looking at. Like that'd be nice if every video I did was at least 1,000 views. So that'd be pretty awesome. So we'll get to it. We'll get there eventually where everything's kind of hitting that. But I have you guys to thank because without everybody sharing it, that whole just word of mouth action working for us wouldn't have gone that well. Joe, glad to see you back, buddy. Thank you. And congrats to you, by the way.
Yeah.
You guys had a bag on Winnie.
Hell yeah, you did.
Dude, that was nuts.
Heard all about that.
I'm pretty sure that's 4 major tournaments in a row in Winnie that have been won with 4 largies, and one of those was a 7 and change. We'll spend more time up there. We have no problem whatsoever going up there and catch smallies. Every time we go up. It's for us, it's very, very easy.
Yeah.
Largies, on the other hand, something we've put almost no time into.
I'm sure we could figure it out.
I think so. I just want to go up there and throw a glide around. Big lake like that with all the docks. And, not like Vermont where we're just constantly in fear of pike.
Yes and yes.
Let me answer 2 more questions, and then we'll kind of get back into the recap a little bit here. So for Jim, successful trailers on the open water sniper lately. Well, lately, it's a different story than in general. Because lately
he was in a different world. On a different planet, fishing for nuclear deformed fish.
Outside of that trip, though, the jig has not treated us well this season so far.
No.
A couple of fish here and there, but that's it.
Yeah.
But,
So no, not really.
yeah, lately, tough to say. But in general, Beast Coast Slow Flow, the smaller one, the 2.85. Kitech, 2.8 or 3.3. Even the bigger Slow Flow from Beast Coast, the 3.65, I think is what it was. Those are all good. You can get a little, I would say, more finessey. I have caught some fish, just putting a little, the hell is it? The TRD from Z-Man. Old Ned Rig trailer on the back. Magic Flick from Beast Coast. Caught a couple of fish doing that as well. I will tell you, almost every single fish that I caught on a, no, I take that back. Literally every single fish I caught on a jig up in the Great Lakes those 4 days was with the Berkeley Maxent Little General. So like their version of a little Ned Rig as my trailer on a sniper, which was just, every time I see it, I'm like, that's dumb. But then I went up there, I'm like, well, I see everybody doing it. I will tie on all my normal jigs, and then I'll tie on one like this. And I went black. I want the black sniper, the MB Mothman, the 22 strand, with a green pumpkin Little General on the back. First cast. 7.5. Couldn't believe it.
Uh-oh. I
was
can't
awesome.
move it.
Dude, you know which one? I caught it on that custom rod that John had built me, which was like a replica of my casting jig rod.
Yeah.
And I have, pretty sure it's 30-pound braid on that. And I had a 14-pound leader on it. So when I leaned into it, dude, I leaned into her. And I had her pinned.
No move.
Buttoned. She was not going anywhere.
I want to do that.
God, it was amazing.
I want to catch a fish.
You're going to catch like 300 in the next 2 days.
I hope so.
All right, last one, then we'll properly get into it. What's your go-to swim bait for a rig for smallies? Ooh.
2.8-inch Kitech. Or was it the Easy Shiner?
Yeah, Easy Shiner's also good.
Or a mix of the two. Or Miyagi's. Well, for stripers, but
For stripers, yeah. We did try that. That's right, I did try that. I tried 5 Miyagi's on an A-rig, on a big A-rig. Didn't quite work.
yeah.
You had to work it fast to get those tails to work, because otherwise the whole thing was working against it in general. Thanks, Ryan. Paying dues for porta potty cleaning in Lake Erie. That was one of the most disgusting porta potties I've ever stepped in.
Really?
I kid you not, there was probably somewhere in the area of 300 to 400 parking spaces just for trailered vehicles. And then there's probably at least another 100 spots for like just car toppers and general parking. And that was next to a marina that had probably between 400 and 500 slips.
Jesus.
Like you dumped in right beside that marina. It's just docks.
And there was
for
one porta
ages.
potty.
There's 2 porta potties for all that.
Boy.
That's it. 2 porta potties. Couldn't believe it. We've been to some like out, dude, I can think of one pond in particular that we keep going to in Vermont that has parking for maybe 30, 40 trailers. That has 2 porta potties. That makes sense. And there's another one on the north end of the lake. This spot can take like 2,000 people a day, and they're like, yeah, two porta potties.
That'll do it.
That's fine. Okay, let's do a quick recap, but I really want to talk more about Champlain. Oh, all right. So I went out to Lake Ontario, southwestern end, St. Catharines, Ontario, to be specific, for a customer visit. It went exceptionally well. I did very, very long days. Friday, God, we're on the road at 4:30, and I didn't get in from everything until like 10 o'clock at night. The next day, 4:30 till about 9 o'clock. Same deal with Sunday. Monday was a little bit easier. We're on the dock, leaving the dock at 5 a.m., just like every other day. But it was all said and done by like 3:30 by the time we're all done. Dropped some people off the airport, so it was good. And then I went and had my first real meal in a while, and then I went to sleep. And Tuesday morning, I met up with Corey, one of my subscribers. And he took me out on Lake Erie in his Lund. And it was cool. It was beautiful. Almost no wind. It made for some really tough fishing conditions. Water temp was all over the place. Anywhere from 49 to 57
Jesus.
for the most part of the day. And then where I ended up catching my PB at the end of the day, which is another funny story. I just remember something that happened in the St. Lawrence I haven't told anybody yet, not even you, because I completely spaced it. Water was up to 61 already on Lake Erie, and we were all right out of Buffalo. So it was pretty wild. But we got to fish, like, while we were trying to kind of make something work, early in the morning. First spot, okay. Second spot, ran way out, fished the sand flats. Oh boy, I got a 4.5, and then it was just nothing. Couldn't get anything to go, but it was glass. Ran out to a shoal. We were there for maybe 10 minutes. Like Corey caught that 6.68. And I was like, okay. So now I get to really see what Lake Erie's like. And we ran around a lot. We went to the Niagara River, and that was cool. Like, I've never experienced current like that. It was like going through rapids. Like, when you got to the first bridge where everything really, truly funneled, the water billowing over the bridge abutments was like 4 feet higher than the rest of the river. It was ripping. Like, we were just dragging baits, 3/4 ounce football jig or a 3/4 ounce tube at a little over 3 miles an hour just from the current.
Jesus.
And it was cool because you're just dragging it, donk, it's slamming into every single freaking rock down there. And I felt donk. It's a little spongy. I caught a smallmouth like that big.
Oh, Jesus.
And then maybe 5 minutes after that, same thing, just donk, and then I felt thump. I was like, ooh. And I barely put any pressure on my rod and just went flying.
Pike.
Like, musky.
Musky.
More likely than not is what he told me. Because apparently that's like the hot spot for muskie in that, in that stretch. So, yeah, good chance of muskie chomped her off.
Damn.
But we went back out to Main Lake, and I remember I still had to write an after-trip report from the whole customer visit. And we were pushing it, and we got another good school. One giant cloud rolled in, and the moment that did and killed the sun, bite went off. It was magical for like 2 hours. And I kept like delaying. I was like, initially, I was like, I want to be off the water by 5. All right, make it 5:30. All right, screw it, make it 6. And by like 6:15, I was like, dude, I hate to do it because we're still getting into him. We got to get off the water by 7 because I had to help him get everything all said and done. I knew the moment we said we're leaving until the moment I got in my car and drove away, it was going to be at least a half an hour. And I ended up being up till midnight writing my trip report.
Jesus.
But at 6:46, I finally broke my PB with a 5.76. So from 5.46 to 5.76. All right, good. I did it. And it was like the most anticlimactic catch of my life. Because I knew it was big, but I didn't dare let myself believe that I may have caught a 6 because it looked like it at first. And I put it on the scale, and I remember seeing 5.76. I was like, huh, new PB. Cool. And like, that was it. Like, I had almost no excitement. Because I saw him catch that 6.6, and that's all I wanted. Like, new PB, yeah, but I wanted a 6.
Well, yeah, everybody does.
Yeah. So Wednesday, I was supposed to go out Ryan Miller, who's here in the chat, and go back out right out of Buffalo to Lake Erie. No bueno. Was not happening. Way, way, way too much wind. We got 500 feet past the seawall. We had one wave come up and like just barely crest over the bow, and he's got a lund. Like, he's got a big lund. And we both look at each other, and he's like, is this stupid? I'm like, yeah, this is stupid. Let's turn around. So we went inside the seawall, tried to make it work for maybe an hour, and we were on the ramp early because wind forecast looked like until about 8 a.m. it was going to be okay. So we're in the water at 5:30. It was already ripping, and even though it wasn't really wavy inside the seawall, the wind was just still a nightmare. So we got off the water, figured out what we were going to do, and he was ultimately like, you know what? I'm just going to go back to work. It's like, okay, I'm going to go up and meet Smallmouth Freaks, who's here in the chat as well, and meet him up at his camp up on the St. Lawrence in Cape Vincent. So we went up. I got up there, I forget, like right about 1 o'clock. Just had enough time to quick use the bathroom, grabbed 8 rods. Well, yeah, I forget how many I brought. I grabbed 8, my tackle bag, threw it in, we left. Got on the water, left the GoPros behind. I'm like, I just want to fish. I don't want to worry about any of this. And then first cast, like we got off pad, I stood up, picked up my jig rod, fired it out, less than 10 seconds. I had that fish. And that was bizarre. Still can't believe it. 7 pounds, 5 ounces. I'm going to say it 1,000 times because it still feels like a bit of a fever dream that I caught
Yeah, but
that
you
fish.
tied your PB, so...
I know, that's the funniest thing, that my PB smallie was the exact same weight as my PB largie. But I have more 7-pound smallmouth than I do largemouth now. Not going to complain. Nope. It was pretty awesome.
Right?
But it was good, like that one spot. We pulled up in one spot. We checked a couple other spots that were like okay. But really, it was just the first spot we hit, and it was just magical. I forget what else we caught, but we went back out Wednesday. I got up there Wednesday. So then Thursday, we went back out, and thankfully, Tom had already done, like, he'd gone up the weekend before, Ryan, you're a champ. Thankfully, Tom went up the weekend before to scout, so we, like, would know what to expect, and he found a couple of really good areas that really panned out. If he didn't go up there and put in that time, I don't know that even half the fish catches we got would have happened. But we ran up to this one spot, and we went out of the river out into Lake Ontario, everything on the Canadian side. And we were fishing the spot, and I burned my jig back, and at the last second, probably like 20 feet from the boat, I just saw this big black missile come flying in behind it. And I was like, whoa, cool, he chased it down. And then Tom had it happen to him. And then I had it happen again. And now we're like, okay, hang on, now there's something to this. And we kind of made it work Saturday, but not quite as well as we did on Thursday, but not quite as well as we did on Friday. But what ended up being the ticket was you had to find a lot of really clean, clear sand and rock. The rock not up there is worse than anything I've ever seen. But the moment you found a nice clear patch where you had like a good ledge, vein of ledge or rocks, individual rock piles, and the clean sand in the middle of it, they were all over it. And it was a little bit tougher to get them to bite on Thursday, but all in all, we still did good. We had 2 over 6, I believe, and I forget how many 4s and 5 pounders. I absolutely understand why both Corey on Erie, Ryan on Erie, and Tom on Lake Ontario say, oh, just another junk 4-pounder, because you catch so many 5s that it's like, I'll never complain about getting a 4, but you catch enough 5s, you're like, oh, cool, another 4. It becomes like a 2-pounder down here.
Right.
So, I mean, Thursday was still good. Like I said, 2 over 6. I think Tom had a 6-pound 11 ounce, and I had a 6.7, something like that. But, I mean, Wednesday, in the short time we were out there for maybe 5 hours, we had 29.5 pounds in our best 5. And then Thursday, we had 28.5, 29 even. That's what it was. Sorry, 29 even, and then 28.5 on Thursday. So Friday we went back out, and initially we were going to go back up towards Clayton and work the river, and Tom was like, I don't know, maybe we should go back out in the lake. And I was like, I'm actually okay with that. Like, why leave fish to go find fish? And we broke off a lot on Thursday. So we're like, screw it, let's go back out. And it was supposed to rain. It held off, thankfully. And we went right back up into that same spot out in the lake and proceeded to crack them. From like within 10 minutes of getting there, there was a little bit of a lull kind of later in the morning. And then we caught a couple more towards like that last hour. But our best 5 together went 32 pounds, 3 ounces, which was just dumb. I caught another 7-pound, 2 ounce. The hell else did I have? I know another 6. Oh, that was the day I caught the 6.11. So a 7.2, a 6.11, 2 at 5.15, and a 5.06 for my top 5. We had 10 fish over 5 pounds. I think it was 10 between 5 and 6 pounds is what it was. Dude, it was dumb.
That's ridiculous.
It was just dumb. And everything we learned the day before, and what I think we even kind of saw on Wednesday now that I think about it, was the ticket to get them to bite was you had to either like burn your jig for 5 to 10 feet and then kill it and give them about 5 seconds to eat. Or Tom, he was like really slow fishing, like slow swimming that jig along, and they would just pause it every once in a while. We were confident they were keying in on crawfish because of what they were biting and how they were biting it. And then that was confirmed after a few we caught. You could see they're all kind of pooping out some crawfish claws. And anytime you get a nice strip of clean sand and you get a nice strip of like that rock vein and you get patches of individual little boulders just kind of a couple feet off that vein and a lot of clean sand. And anytime I got in a position where you could go up against the rock vein and swim it across like little boulder patch, little boulder patch, little boulder patch, like at least 1 to up to 3, especially where there's multiple patches you could kind of swim right through the middle of, you're catching fish almost every time. Not a single bed in sight. There was only a couple of fish that Tom caught on live scope, but if we caught 100 fish, I want to say only 5 of them came on live scope. And those were on A-rigs on the first spot the first day. And one of those ended up being a 6. He caught a couple of like kind of squeakers, maybe like 3s, and then he hooked into one, and I watched the rod. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. That's the different one.
That's big.
I think that was
small.
6'8", 6'6" or 6'8", I forget.
Jesus.
But I mean that was the gist of the trip. All open water sniper from Beast Coast. Almost everything was on half ounce. The majority of the fish. Although the second day on Thursday, a lot of mine came on 3/8 ounce. MB Pro Pumpkin or MB Sexy Melon were the go-tos, but MB Sexy Melon was like the vast majority of what our fish were caught on. I had that Little General from Berkeley, the Maxcent, and Tom was almost exclusively using a speed craw. There's one other detail I'm going to leave out because I'm not sure how well known it is up there, and I don't want to give it away because I would never do it. Tom had like 10 fish in the boat before I had one. Doing this one different thing. I'm like, okay, I've seen enough. I'm going to do the same thing. And it was like flipping a switch. Made all the difference. Like literally was the difference on Thursday. But then Friday had zero effect whatsoever. What'd you say?
I want to know.
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
Well, you know what we do with our eggs? On one?
Yeah.
That. Literally just that.
Oh.
And you didn't need to do a lot. Wild. I literally could not get bit doing the exact same thing in the exact same spots. And he was just catching fish after fish. I'm like, okay, never mind, let me do it. And I did it, and it was like, okay, now I'm starting to catch fish again. It was awesome. And even going back to Lake Erie, open water sniper, 3/8 ounce. That's what I got almost every single fish on. I got a couple on Ned rig, but dude, that jig was just killing it on every one of those spots up there. I couldn't believe it. Trying to think. Yeah, no, I even had a little general on when I was at Lake Erie, and I caught almost all those fish. There was like the last hour, like when we were hitting them, I ended up catching. The hell did I catch? 5 fish and 10 casts. At one point, it was 4 in a row. It was like a couple of casts, nothing. Then I hit 4 in a row, and there was the 5.76, 2 4.5s, and a 4 1/4. 4 fish in a row. And then I caught another one. I think it was a low 4 or a high 3. I forget. It was like 5 fish and 10 casts. I couldn't believe it. But I don't know. Like that's kind of the gist of it. But the most amazing thing. And I showed Chrissy the footage last night because I even forgot to tell her. Like I literally had not told anybody about this because I forgot about it and all the excitement of the fish catching. I had a real bad problem with breaking fish off on Thursday for some reason. I was trying to use my both casting rods.
Oh, you told me about this.
Yeah, I had 14-pound heavy cover from Defiant. And the zebra mussels up there are insane, and that's the only thing I could think of because of the way we were fishing through it. And I was constantly checking my line, but I kept breaking. And I know that from just kind of throwing my rods around the boat, this happens plenty. When you get multiple days in a row using the same rods, you're going to nick your line somewhere up along the line somewhere. And I felt a little thunk, set the hook, line snapped off right at the rod tip. Probably had like 30 to 40 feet of line out.
Jesus.
And I was like, there's probably the second or third fish I broke off. I was like, damn, all right, this sucks, but whatever. And talking to Tom, I think it was like a minute and 15 seconds from the moment I broke off. Somewhere in there, maybe 45 seconds after, he quick threw his jig back over to where I broke off, thinking, I'll try and get it. Oh, yeah,
you told me about this.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah.
And he starts reeling his jig, and I can see him. He's like, hang on. He picks his jig up, and he's like, dude, I got your line. I'm like, what? And he's like, I got your line. It's like, the fish still on there? And he grabs the line. You can see his hand kind of like, he's like, dude, I got the fish. Ended up being a 4.5-pound smallie, and I hand lined it in.
Yeah, that was cool.
The most surprising thing about that is the time from the moment I broke it off, how far it was from the boat, and then to when he actually snagged it with his jig, and that he was even able to bring it up. Because it was a lot of line, but not like a lot of line. And
that's crazy.
Absolutely one of the most wildest things.
I got your line. I got your fish.
I can't wait to post it because it's funny. It's just damn funny.
Oh, you have it on video?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I missed both 7s on video, and Friday was supposed to rain. Well, the other thing was I have 2 external hard drives at home, and I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed the old one. So I had enough room on there to dump footage one time. And I was like, okay, I'll film Thursday. I'll dump the footage, and I'll film Friday. But that thing is so ancient, and the read-write speeds are so bad, I literally couldn't dump the footage. So I was only able to record one day, which kind of sucked, but so at least could have gotten the 7.2 on Friday. I would have been recording for that. I wouldn't have missed that. But you know what? I don't regret it. You know, I got a couple of videos on my phone. I'll post that 7.2 tomorrow on Instagram, Facebook, and all that crap. YouTube. I already got the 7.5 up. So I at least have some record of it. And I know how to get the measurements for the fish, thanks to some nifty engineering tools I have learned throughout my career. So I can actually get exact dimensions of that fish from one good screenshot.
A replica.
So the only thing with a replica, I have to do a lot more research because the only things I've found so far are guys that have like fixed sizes of fish. So you can get a 20 or a 22 or an 18 and it tells you what the girth is, but like that's it. You only have those options. I will not do that. If I can't get someone to make me a custom replica to the exact dimensions of that fish.
There's people that do that.
I got to find them. That's what I really need to find.
There's a guy in like Michigan or something like that does it.
All right. Well, if anybody knows of someone that actually does do that, I'll look for the guy in Michigan to see if I can't find
Michigan
that.
or Wisconsin or somewhere in that area.
Up near the
Missouri.
Do you not need the scale sizes? Ooh. I don't think so. I don't know. We'll find out. You know, again, I got pictures. I got a quick video.
Length, width, and girth.
Yeah, dude. And my God, that 6'11" I caught was the only one that I remembered to actually like. I put it on the tape, so I got its length, and it was 21 inches, which I'm pretty sure that 7.5 is also 21 inches, which is just was a freak build. And then I laid it on its belly, and it was like 4.5 inches wide, I think is what it was. And then I laid it on its side to get it from like bottom of belly to the top of the back, not the dorsal fin, and it was like 7.5, 7.75, something like that. Like, dude, it was a football, and that was just the 6'11". It was
That's wild.
honest to God, like I can't adequately explain what that trip meant to me. God, all the times we've gone up there to try it. I mean, you and I did it for 8 days and 9 days, 2019, 2020. I went up for quite literally an overnight trip in 2021, and then basically a 2-night trip in 2022, and never once even broke 5 pounds up there.
Fish was Lizzo thick.
Yeah, she was. And to finally go up there on my 5th year trying to do it, and first cast catch 7. I'm not going to forget that for the rest of my life. That's for damn sure. Even if I beat it, that first one's special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, comments really quick, and then we'll talk about Champlain. That's I'm very excited. Oh yeah, Ryan, thank you again for the donation.
Yeah,
too,
thanks a
buddy.
lot, Dick.
Oh, let me.
And you can't buy that much ham salad with $10.
There he is, Smallmouth Freaks. Friday was glorious. Damn right, dude. It was just dumb. Absolutely dumb. Alec, no, you take that back. Anything over 5 pounds for smallmouth in New England, you wear that badge with pride, man, because that's a donkey. They're not easy to come by.
Nope.
And I will fight anybody that says
That's bigger than my PB Smallie by
barely.
0.01.
Yeah, damn, dude. You had 3 at 5 1/4 before I even caught my 5.46. I just kept hitting like 5 and a C here.
521,
5
525, 526, 528. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, there's a good chance to catch 6 up on Champlain anyway.
Yeah, maybe.
We know where they are. Like, we literally know where they are.
Yeah, I know.
Multiple spots.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good chance of it. We got the right stuff.
We'll see.
I
would have had my own 30-pound bag freaking shore banging for bedfish,
Oh, my God.
but nothing would bite. I saw...
Tell the story. I'm going to get one.
Couldn't even tell you how many freaking 6-pounders, 5+ 5s and 6s I saw. Went to can't tell you actually, my own secret little honey hole. If you know where it is, cool. It's a canal near where I live. Went there. I saw he caught all those fish. So I was like, you know what? I want to go do that too. So I went there within like, I don't know, 2 minutes of walking on the shoreline. Saw my first bed with like a little, maybe 1.5 pound, 2 pound largie on it, male. I was like, huh, where's the female? Looking around, don't see her. Walk down about 30 feet, boom. There's like a 6-pounder with its tail right up against the bank, and she's staring out. Threw the glide bait in front of her. She followed it. I was walking down the shoreline using the glide bait, and she was just on it for about 40 to 50 feet. Didn't commit. Didn't do anything. Threw a jig in. She looked at it, swam away. So I gave up on that one. Moved down the shore maybe, I don't know, maybe a quarter mile or so. Found another one. Same situation. 1 to 2 pound male in the bed, and like a 5.5 to 6 pounder about 20 feet from the bed. Same thing. Tail up against the bank. Did the exact same thing with that one. Nothing. And I found, I don't know, I couldn't even put a number on how many more I found. But if I would have caught all those, I would have had over a 30-pound bag. Easily.
Yeah, dude.
But it was okay. I got to see these 2 giants dancing right over a bed. I just sat and watched that for a few minutes, and then
Pervert.
I walked. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? I can't say it on here. I watched them do the dance, and then I made my nice 3-mile walk back. So that was my day. That's it.
Do you guys keep track of how many smallies you catch a day? I caught 81 this past Saturday from shore. That's amazing.
From shore? Jesus, dude.
We rarely do we keep track of just keep track. No, I take that back. Sorry. We keep count almost every single time we go out, not just specifically for smallies or largies. And like when we go to Champlain, this is our 5th year we've been doing this. 5th or 6th year? No, 5th year. Because I didn't do it when I had the Ranger. I think the first 2021, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, 4th season we're doing this. Because I didn't even go up there until August of 2020. It's the first time I even went to Champlain. So then it was, spring of 2021. So this 4th season we've been doing this. And we'll always count when we go up there for this trip. Just because it's insane how many fish we catch. I mean, there's that 102 fish day. The day before we had 75. The next day we had like 60-something. Or maybe it was 60, 175, I forget. Just dumb. We ended up catching, was it 250-something fish in essentially 3.25 days?
Us?
Yeah.
It was like 241 or something like that.
Ridiculous.
I don't know why I remember that. 200. No, it was like 260-something.
You might be right.
It was a lot.
It was a stupid amount.
Because we wanted to break 100 in one day, and we did. We got like 102 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we went out the next day and did the exact same thing. Same spots.
That was... I'm really excited to go up there and explore this year. Because now we actually have a boat that, unless it gets like really rowdy, like that when we saluted that guy on his way out.
Oh, yeah. Good luck. 10 minutes later, he's coming back in.
Got the boat now. We're going to go explore. We're going to really run. Mm-hmm. Ran like a champ the other day after I got the plugs replaced.
Good.
Yep. And then, like I said, I mean, you saw the pictures. The rest of the plugs were all pretty consistent. They're dirty, but not like those two you pulled.
No, they were still wet.
Yeah. Mark, any hair jig bite up there in Erie? No, dude. I bought hair jigs. I tried fairly hard with it. Never got a sniff on it. It was very, very, very upsetting. Boat potato. Open water sniper with a Ned type trailer is wicked Goby profile, which makes sense. I usually do well up there every time. I mean, the last 2 times I went up just with a Kitech on the back. But, yeah, something about that Ned rig trailer. It does a better job. FF Snoog joined the 5-pound smallmouth and largemouth club this past week. 5'1" smallie and 5'8" large. Hell yeah. Jerkbait and shaky head. It's shaky head season now. Anytime, like when you know the largemouth are like primed to start spawning, and then after spawn, you should have a shaky head tied on. Especially like immediate post spawn until the water's like low 80s. You got to wait for the bluegill to do their thing. And I mean, shit, if it's your deal and you want to throw on beds, and shaky head works great for largies, but shaky head all the way. I will always have it tied on for that window. This is just stupid good. Mark, Champlain last week is awesome. My hands are still healing up. You guys will have a blast. Good. That's what I like to hear.
Sweet.
And then Andrew, how many techniques did you try, Sean, to catch fish, or were you successful in all of them? I tried, oh my God. Spoon, lipless, hair jig, A-rig, jig, Ned rig, Demiki rig.
Rig. Rigs.
Just swimming a swim bait, swimming like a little twitch bait, jerk bait. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Glide. I threw the glide actually a lot up on the river.
Lucky.
Couple of spots. So 11 different techniques. The only thing is I caught them on jig, Ned rig. I brought all those rods.
And a combination of two.
12 things. I threw a jackhammer too. Forgot about that. And, and a tube. Okay, 13 things. Am I forgetting anything else?
Blade bait?
No. Okay. Jig, Ned rig, and tube. Because I didn't catch any on the A-rig and the hair jig. Those are the 2 things I really wanted to catch them on. Nothing else on any of the moving baits. Tom actually got a couple on the deep diving jerk bait. I think he got a good one too. Lost a couple too. That was on the first spot where I caught the 7.5. Just because the way they were reacting, and that started to get them to commit a little bit more. But yeah, Jesus. So 13 different things. I only caught them on 3. They were really keyed in on crawfish by the time we got there. Carla, hi.
Hi.
Andrew, next time you go to the Honey Hole Canal, please take my buddy Carter.
Yeah.
Oh, we were there a few weeks ago and he wants you to go with him. There you go.
Okie dokes.
Perfection.
Sounds good.
Kyle, how did you like the Evos? Did you bring those puppies out? No, I didn't. I specifically saved them for Champlain, so we're going to be able to rock them this weekend. I have 6 of those Evos.
Really?
2 green pumpkin.
Let's lose all of them.
2, oh, dude, they're going to be gone literally the first spot. We're going to leave the ramp, hard left, right down that shore.
Oh, yeah, we're going to lose them.
We're going to lose them in a minute. I'm trying to decide what glide I want to bring. That glide. I'm throwing that glide up there. I love it. It's sexy, but it's perfect for that shallow stretch.
It's cute.
And if I lose it, I'm not going to be too heartbroken because this is one I can actually replace.
This little guy.
Gancraft, the Big Bass Streams collab.
Collaboration.
That's the smaller one, the 230? Because you got the 303 or whatever.
230, yeah. I got the 303.
230, okay.
The big boy.
This is like a really, basically like a high float glide. I'm going to throw the hell out of that
It's
up
like
there.
9 inches? 8.5?
Yeah, I think it's 8.5. Something like that.
Oh, that's cute.
I know. Oh.
I'm bringing mine.
I'm definitely bringing mine. I was just thinking, I wonder if they'll eat the Defiant up there, the swim bait too. The 210. That might be the time.
Oh, I'm
to do
bringing
it.
mine for sure.
I'll bring it. I already have mine in the boat. I just need to tie it on.
Mine's already rigged. On the rod. Ready to go.
Mucho excito. Oh, oh, no, they're all in the... I was like, dude, do I have the rest of my swim bait rods? They're in the boat. Everything's in the boat. Jim, anybody try the new Beast Coast hair jigs yet? No. Derek doesn't love me. He didn't send us any to test.
I want some.
Dude. Would love to get it. Trying to go through just a couple more comments before go on to Champlain. John, dynamite? That'll work. Actually found you guys from following Oliver. Oh,
No,
hell yeah.
shit.
Thanks, Ben.
Cool.
Oliver's a good dude.
Yes, he is.
He treats us very well. All right, Champlain.
Hey, there he is.
Oh, hey.
We were just talking about you, friend.
I still chuckle when I think about that time we walked into Dick's. Hello, a very nice country.
Riley's like, Oliver. Oh my God, I was dying. Not perfect timing. You're good.
That was perfect. All right, Champlain.
Champlain. Very excited. I want to catch fish finally this year.
You haven't done that bad.
I've done terrible.
You have not done that bad.
I've had one good day.
Tell you what, you take out like literally all of last week, and I'm not doing any better than you, dude.
I don't know. I'm not having a great year. To start. It will get better. I know it will.
Oh, it's gonna get better. This is the sump buster across the board, dude. Water temps are prime. I know that inland sea, all on the Vermont side, up near North Hero, South Hero, is like 51. Chef's kiss. That's gonna be really, really good.
It's going to be good. I'm excited. Excited to finally get in some good fish.
Yep. And
And a lot of them, hopefully.
I don't see why not. I am a little concerned with the warm weather we've had this week that where we're launching might be Bed City, which could be problematic. Because
In there, they might have... Remember last time we were there?
last time we were there,
It was 65 degrees in there, and Main Lake was 42.
yeah. No, that was 2 years ago. Last year
2
we got
years.
there, and it was perfect pre-spawn inside that area. But then the first 2 days, it was actually terrible. We were there too early. Nothing had pushed in the shallows. But then there's that next bay north, where I ended up catching that almost 5-pounder.
Yep.
And like that bay, despite being that much further north, is always like 3 or 4 degrees ahead of where we launch out of. So when we were down there, like there's nothing in here yet. We shot up there, and that was a magical pre-spawn bite for like 3 days. And then the last full day we were there, everything around where we launched from, that started firing off. So if we start to see beds fanning where we're launching, then we know if we go north up to that cove, it's going to suck. However, the entrance to go up there will be Fuego,
The entrance to go...
where we went for the camp all week.
Oh my God, if I could catch 21 pounds in 20 minutes again, that'd be great.
The gist of this trip and what we try to do every year when we go up here at this time of the year is we try to hit that pre-spawn bite. And the cool thing about staying up on the north end, you have wildly varying water temps wherever you want to go. I did find out something from Tom about a certain area we need to go look at if the wind plays right. And I got confirmation on water temp that it is perfect. And we will literally be fishing through clouds of smallmouth like the stripers we catch in the winter.
When?
This weekend.
Yay!
So it's going to be nutty. But we'll launch around South Hero, North Hero. You get in one shallow area and it's going to be like high 50s, low 60s. And you come down into mallets and it's going to be 3 or 4 degrees cooler than that. So, and then if you go on the inland side of Vermont, the inland sea side of the lake, north end, so Vermont side, then that's probably going to be low 50s. And then if you go out on the Plattsburgh over towards the New York side of North Hero, South Hero, then that's like the main current. That's where it's like it gets wicked deep. And it will tank in water temp. Like Andrew was just saying. We were up there 2 years ago, and where we launched out of it was low 60s. And there's beds. We're like, well, this is not going to work. It's not what we're here for. And we ran out a mile, if that. More like maybe a half mile.
Yeah, probably closer to a mile.
Okay, we'll just stick with a mile. Ran a mile straight west into the New York side, 47-degree water. You can do whatever you want. Like, if this goes the way I think it's going to go, and that northern cove is all beds, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple of areas for some very, very early, eager spawners that are already done. And granted, that's probably only an extremely small percentage of fish that are already done. Point is, you can find fish in all 3 stages, and that pre-spawn stage, that, like, there's going to be a huge window of pre-spawners to find. So, if we see beds, not a problem. We only have to go a couple miles out of the way, and we will be in some of the best pre-spawn conditions you could ever ask for. John, you're a champ. Blade baits on New York side. Thank you.
Thanks.
I have the blade bait box with me. We brought them.
I was planning on throwing that anyway. So.
Well, yeah, we brought them so we could catch walleye. We're looking for dinner.
I gotta get a knife. No, I'll Amazon one tonight.
No, I'm not ordering. I'm going to text you. I'm going to set a reminder. Let's see here. If you do it tonight, it'll probably be here.
Oh.
No, what the hell?
I wish I could show you all that. That's great.
Andrew, reminder, tomorrow at 9 p.m. Yeah.
Knife.
I literally wrote knife Andrew at 9.
Ow. Oh, didn't tell you guys, I got a little bird friend.
Oh,
I'm not peeping on him. I woke up this morning, there was a bird sitting on my windowsill inside my room. And it squawked at me, scared the shit out of me, and then it flew out of the window. But there's a hole in my screen, and the entire inside between the window and the screen, there's kind of a little gap there. It's all a bunch of grass built up and stuff. This bird's been making a freaking nest in my window. So now I have a pet bird. I'm naming him Dick. Now you know.
I just realized I never pulled up the stream on the other side over there.
That's okay. I've been trying to squinting at that one.
It's fine. Where I saw Alec and I really wanted to touch upon this. Oh, here you go. On vacation next week. All this Champlain talk is strongly making me consider the drive up, but Boss Lady may have an issue with that. It's tough for a day trip. Dude, you gotta make the day trip. As long as you don't have an issue with getting sleepy on your drive home, in which case I would never recommend you make that drive. You gotta go. There is the Ticonderoga boat launch, which everybody knows. Directly across from it is Larrabee's on the Vermont side. It's not that much parking. It's not that great of a spot. There's no bathroom there if that's like something you need, like me. But it's wicked convenient. So for us to go to Ticonderoga, I can get from my house there in 3 hours. I think it's maybe 3 hours and 15 minutes. which really is like not bad at all. Now, and then going up and launching at a Mallett's, we can get door to ramp in 3 hours. If we go to Apple Marine, it's like 3 hours and 10, 3 hours and 15 minutes. Kings Bay at the top of North Hero.
4 hours.
Yeah, that's a 4-hour ride. That's a long day. I've done that twice.
That's like kind of where we're going this weekend, though.
Yeah, we'll only be a half hour shy of it. Which is ridiculous how friggin' long those islands are when you really get, and you're only doing what, 40 on average most of the way?
55.
Well, yeah, in the morning.
What time is it? How fast are we going?
I saw the funniest video last night, and it was like, all right, Google Maps, let's go. And he's like, you'll be there in exactly 3 hours and 15 minutes. And the guy's just like,
Pretty much.
oh, you think so, huh? It's a mission every time. Whatever Google tells me, I'm going to shave 20 minutes off of that. Boat or no boat.
37 hours for Oliver. Oof.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hike, but totally worth it, and you know it. Oh, here we go. Any of you fish in the southern New Hampshire area, that's where I'm from, some good spots over there. You shush your mouth, because that's where we're from. You be quiet right now. I will tell you, we can touch upon that really quick to kind of wrap up this. Last 2 times took the boat out, running like crap, finally got new spark plugs in, took it out for like a half an hour. Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday. No.
Yes.
Was it?
Because you texted me.
No, it was, I texted, no, but I went out Monday.
Oh, yeah.
I did. I went out Monday. Anyway, thing ran great. So that fixed it, but we went to a spot in southern New Hampshire, and I was like, okay, this is going to be good. I had my 2 boys with me. I was like, I'll go find some beds, and I'll put them on it. I only checked one shoreline because we had very little time, and I found probably 30 to 40 beds, and they were all empty already. Which is pretty insane because the last time we were there, which really wasn't that long ago, it was still really cold. Mm-hmm. So in that, 5-week window, I want to say, they went from like, holy hell, when are these fish ever going to move up, to spawn's done.
Pre, spawn, post.
Yeah. Pre-spawn post.
Snoozing.
F that lake, by the way, dude. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Oh! I really hope my family's watching because the last thing I forgot to do before I go back to the original, my youngest son drew this, and it's me and him fishing on his boat. And I forgot
off
to
the
show
back.
this. I wouldn't be surprised. Did you see Jordan Lee do that on live, by the way?
He peed off the back of the boat.
Right on the front. He didn't know he was live, and he just hung it up. Just all of a sudden, you just see a stream come down between his legs. At any rate, thank you very much, Jake. Appreciate the picture.
That's
beautiful.
great.
Love you, buddy.
I like it.
Other fishing reports. I'm going to say that pretty much everything in southern New Hampshire is either going to be like hard spawn or just wrapping up. Actually, I wouldn't even say with any exceptions. Maybe New Venusa because it's so big and deep. They might not be spawning yet, but I have a feeling they're probably spawning.
I have a feeling that almost everywhere is full-blown spawn by this weekend.
Yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree with that. They are either smaller body of water, they're way ahead of schedule. Big like Lakes region, it's going to be spawn city. So if that's not your jam, then stay away from it. If you drive down into the further south you go, the more likely you are to find post-spawn conditions. The further north you go, the more likely you are to at least still find a couple of pre-spawn instances left. But you're going to have to find some pretty big, deep bodies of water. And even then, most of the shallows, they're going to be warm enough. I mean, Christ, we were out, Lake Ontario was it 52, 53? Yeah, roughly. And that was the northeastern corner, again, right at the mouth of the river. And all the shallows, they were getting close. That's like Ontario. And I know it didn't freeze over the winter, but it still got damn cold, and it's already that warm.
Yeah, but 3 weeks ago we saw fish bedding 51 degrees.
Yeah, that's true.
Which was weird.
Who the hell said it? We were just talking about this, I think the last stream we did. And they're right, and I keep forgetting this point, and I'm positive you said it too. At a certain point, the fish seem to just disregard water temp, and they actually go by a calendar. And we've seen so many instances of that. It's like,
the sun.
Water's 51, there's no way they're spawning. Why are there so many beds everywhere? Yeah.
All the stuff.
So many factors.
Not just temperature.
Best of luck to anybody going out to find not beds, because, yeah. Bed fishing sucks.
It's too easy. I mean, I sucked at it this past weekend, but that was also for largies. They can be stubborn.
Yeah, true. Still just not my jam. Oh, Masson and Basson. What model shaky head are y'all throwing? I have no idea.
No friggin' clue. I haven't thrown one in like 4 years,
I just
if
want
not longer.
whatever the little spring screw lock is on there. I only want like 3 or 4 coils and fairly spaced out because I will throw a wide variety of baits on it. And if they're too thin, then the bait doesn't stay on there for crap. And if they're too big, then I can't put on like a Zoom finesse worm. You know, one of my favorite things to throw on there, a little trick worm. So, man, I think Picasso is the brand I've been throwing the most. It's one of those, I don't throw it that often anymore. I used to live and die by it. So now I just kind of like, perfect example. Last year I was at Ben's Tackle Shack down in Leicester, Mass. And I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I'm low on shaky head hooks. And I want to do a lot of that this weekend, so I'm going to buy more. I didn't even look at brand. I was literally just looking at the weight and what that bait keeper looked like on it. And when I saw one that was the right weight, and it looked good for everything I like to throw on it, I just grabbed it. That was how I made my decision.
I like shaky head. I used to throw it with a robo-worm.
Robo-worm is still very, very good. Mm-hmm. I think back to that day we went out night fishing.
Well, started
not
during
night
the day. He almost sent me off the boat with his stupid dad joke. And then we proceeded to absolutely wax him. Like, bad.
I think we caught
like 40 fish in the first hour.
Yeah, that was dumb. It was like quite literally almost every single cast for like 2 hours.
It was on 4th of July.
Yes, it was.
Because
we were
we
out there.
night fished during all the fireworks.
Yep. And we were like, it's going to be great. Bite's going to be fire. We didn't catch anything after dark.
Nah,
we were out there until like 2 in the morning.
Caught like 3, and that was about it.
And then you caught that lady's rope on her rowboat.
Oh my God.
And we were making so much noise, trying not to get it off. And then next thing you know, the door opens and a flashlight. What are you doing?
Sorry. Got stuck on your rope.
Get it undone. Move away from the shore. And Hinder's like, it was pretty brazen of her to do that. Because what if we weren't nice people? That's a very excellent point.
Yeah. That was a good time.
That was ridiculously good. You know what? I have all those worms with me. And I know I have all my shaky heads. And there's a good chance that could play this weekend. So, but I can tell you, looking ahead to Champlain, there's 2 things I really want to do. 1, I want to catch a whole ton of fish on the A-rig. And 2, a lot of people are going to hate me for this, and I don't give a shit. I really want to get a lot more practice in with Active Target. Because I've had it now for a year and a half. And we've had days where we've used it, but I mean literally less than 5 days that we've been out there. It's like, this is all I'm going to do. And really use it and get used to it. So.
That's all I've been doing.
I know. Every time I go out, I'm just
like,
started, and I just
I work on it all day, and I never get to use it. So
I say the same thing every time. Happy hunting, and I go to the back of the boat, and I just let him take the trolling motor. And once every couple minutes, I have to remind him, psst, shoreline, we're getting close, and he'll look up like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, but there's fish way out here, like 100-something feet from the boat. I swear to God, they're there.
But I want to get some more practice in with it, and I'm going to bring my toolbox. I do know that the arrow is off just a smidge, so I want to straighten that out. There's got to be an easier way to do that. I have a 3-foot ruler. I will try to remember to bring that.
I usually take like a stick.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. If I got that yardstick, so I can put that against
the old trusty eye.
Sorry, sir. I'm doing my best. Did I tell you to watch that with the kids the other day?
No.
Oh, yeah. It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Jesus.
And there was only like... There's 2 parts I laughed at. How many assholes are on this shit? That, and then...
We ain't found shit.
That. That was pretty much it. But then, and then other than that, Jared, my oldest, was like, yeah, it was all right. I'm like, get out of my house.
Get out. You're not mine.
Next up, Blazing Saddles.
Oh, boy.
That'll be completely over his head.
Yeah, yes. 18.
The Camp Town lady?
Jesus.
Yep. All right, last one. Any tips on breaking the 6 for a largie post spawn in the summer? I really love frog fishing in the summer and have faith in big fish on it. Maybe just need to fish better spots and keep exploring though. 100% of frog.
Baits.
Glide bait, 100%. And I would say one of two things. Big jig in thick grass or swim jig with any sort of trailer on it that you're just literally going to swim through the grass to. Like that, I try and think of all the big fish we've caught, and the vast majority of the 6+ pounders caught in the summer have been you. I think if we got one. Almost all the rest of mine have come in the spring or the fall. I have a really hard time breaking 6 pounds outside of the spring and fall. And like by spring, I mean like 45-degree water temp. That's where most of my bigger fish, 45 to 50, seems to be that magic window for me. But dude,
I like it
during
hot.
the summer, I can catch tons of 5s. I have no problem in the world catching 5s. But aside from that, oh, Tanner, I owe you an email, sir. So I apologize, but I will get that done. I have tons of tips for you for that. But I'm not going to publicly share them because our first tournament, Shake and Bake, June 30th on Newfound, New Hampshire Bass Nation. Because I'm not doing that BFL anymore on Oneida on the 29th. As much as I wanted to do it, I had to weigh my options. I either take 3 days to go fish Erie and Lake Ontario and St. Lawrence River, or I go fish Oneida blind in a tournament. And that was the easiest decision of my life. So, as much as I really want to fish in that BFL, ultimately I was like, you know what? This is an opportunity that I cannot miss. And it had to be one or the other. So we'll see. And actually what we're talking about is instead of doing the Berkshire tournament this fall, skip it, go back up to Ontario.
Yeah.
And then we're going back next spring. You have to come back up next spring.
Okay. For what? Oh,
Ontario.
you got to come down.
We're going to do both. We come down, come up, come down, come up.
We're going to catch big fish.
Now I got to break my PB largie.
You will.
I know, I need to. Now I want to break it up here.
Jerry
wanna break it both.
gave me some juice
Did he?
on some spots.
That's cheating.
Not spots, but
No, I know.
lakes, bodies of water.
Jerry's a stick. And he's been a stick down there for 30 friggin' years.
Mm-hmm. So
Not
he
quite
gave
30,
me
but-
he gave me some good spots that has lots of double digits. So
Hell yeah. I want to go down there to like one of those fan boat only spots. He posts videos about every once in a while. Like some truly like middle of nowhere. And you go down these long ass canals that are like a foot deep with stumps everywhere. And he's like, we got a backup boat we don't give a crap about. We just beat the crap out of it the whole way out while they're following a fan boat. And the fan boat's there to pull them if they need it, just in case.
Jesus.
But then they get into this one big back body of water that's like 6 feet deep, and they just crush them.
There's one specific spot on a body of water that I want to go try.
That's what I like to hear.
It's like very shallow all the way around, and there's one little canal that goes through this one little spot, and it's like 13 feet deep.
Perfection. John, can't wait to get back to the River Lake. Buddy, have fun when you get back up there. I wish I could be up there at the same time as you, 'cause I believe he said he's going on Father's Day. But I'm going to have to wait until the end of this year to get back up there. And that'll be fine. I think I enjoy that place more in the cold weather anyway, because every other time we've been up there, it was, well, let's see. The first time we went was the water level was the highest in recorded history.
5 feet high.
And then the second time we went, was it 3 miles offshore past Stone Island in Lake Ontario. So now we're talking like way out in the lake. It was 80 degrees.
The
That
water.
was fun. Jeez. That was ridiculous. That was tough.
That was the day I lost my PB.
Yep.
So now you have an accurate judgment.
You know how I kept saying you had like a donkey on that one? Dude, you had a donkey. Because here's the thing. When I show you guys the videos, for nobody who's ever fished up there, you will never understand the density of these fish.
No,
'Cause-
I caught a 14-inch, 2.5-pound smallie up there. Yeah, it was 2.5. Yeah,
It's nuts. It's a funny phrase, it's a stupid phrase, like it's overused, whatever. But they are quite literally built different on that.
they
System.
live on a treadmill.
Live on a treadmill, and then there's being force fed little sushi line of gobies all day, every day. It's nuts. There's so many fish that we pulled up that I was like, if that were in New Hampshire, that would be like a high 3, and it was a high 4 instead up there. And it's deceiving. And if we didn't have Tom's Brecknell scale, which is the second most accurate handheld scale in the market, to the best of my knowledge, only the Bubba out beats it, I trust that explicitly. And it's just, it shocks you how heavy those fish are. So if you see a long, fat smallmouth up there, that would look like a 5 here. It's close to a 7 up there. It's just stupid, man.
Mm-hmm. Dumb.
Yep. Tell you what, good enough. Call it quits. Maybe, you know what? We should actually do a live from Champlain for once. We talk about it every year. We almost never do it. We did it. We actually did do it last year.
Jerry.
It should be a forward-facing solar.
No, that's not FFS.
Oh, yeah.
So my fucking flipping stick.
Yep.
He is not wrong. Jerry, you're going to show me the ways.
Okay. Last thing, Kevin. Good spots to stay up there. Never been. Now it's got to be on the bucket list. Airbnbs are your friend because their season up there is so short on the U.S. side. And the only reason we go up there is because Canada opened up this early catch and release only season. And I forget, it starts sometime in April and ends May 10th. Was this year? I'm assuming it's going to be close to that for next year, if not the exact same dates. But this one conveniently ended on a Friday, so I don't know. Weird thing, too, by the way, we only saw boats out there at the ramp, and then on the second day in one spot. Other than that, we didn't see another single bass boat out there.
Oh, shit.
Couldn't believe it. But Airbnb is your friend. Otherwise, there's like hardly anything open up there because it's their off season on the U.S. side. If you're willing to go over by the Thousand Island Crossing, I think it's Route 81, and just drive up into Canada, it'd make it easier for you if there's wind issues. Although you launch out of Cape Vincent, you're like a quarter mile from the Canadian line. All you have to do is get over the line. You can fish all day for bass, and nobody's going to question it. But yeah, Airbnb, you might get lucky with a hotel or two up there. Maybe find a camper that someone is, but most people can't even start opening up their campers till like the beginning of May. You got to do a little bit of research, but again, Airbnb is where it's at, man. Okay, let's wrap it up. Do your thing.
Okay.
Pretend this is a stack of papers. There it is.
We will see you guys next week, as always, except for last week. Sorry, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/@Reel Northern Bass. We'll see you next week. Adios, muchachos.
Have a good night, everybody.
And then we can